Then they're starting to work in teams to work on the surface of the sand underneath of it, because it gets really hard over a couple months. Just the natural ebb and flow of the tides, people walking over them, and so they have to work really hard to scratch their way through that hard surface. And so when they're just about ready, then there's this nice little divot, and that's kind of the result, like you can see in this one, that it just caves in, and then as they have emerged, that's really all that you see in the morning is a little divot with lots of little tiny hatchling tracks, and that's what we're looking for.
All right, so Jerry's going to get started. So what he's going to do now is dig down into the nest, find where that clutch was laid, and see what the result of that nest was. So we do this for a couple of different reasons. One of the most important things that we do this for is for something called our nest productivity research. Nest productivity is basically data that we collect, and then we figure out how many of those eggs have hatched and how many didn't hatch. Those numbers help us figure out how our beach is compared to other beaches with nest productivity. Now, something really cool about Florida data is that a lot of the data that is collected, not just here on Disney's Vero Beach Resort, but all along Florida beaches, is collected in a very similar way. And that way, all of that data can talk to each other. So our nest productivity numbers are directly comparable to any of the other beaches as well. So what Jerry's doing now is he's pushing some of that sand back. A sea turtle nest isn't done right at the surface. There is a good depth to it. So a lot of the times when you are doing inventory, at least for me, I would be digging a hole that's from the tip of my fingers all the way up into my shoulders. But that definitely can depend on either the species or the individual sea turtle. This sea turtle nest that Jerry has over here is a loggerhead nest. That is the species of sea turtle that was, if you did get a chance to already see, that Sally and Cruz is, or are. So, yeah, okay. So, Sally and Cruz, they are here today with us, but the sea turtle that laid this nest, she was here about 2 months ago. This nest was marked 526. So that means that it was a nest that was laid towards the end of May. So what we do is that we know about how long it takes for a nest to incubate and for those eggs to hatch and the hatchlings to go out into the ocean. Sea turtles would be making, or once it gets to a certain number of days, then Jerry will be also conducting an inventory, or another member of our team would be doing the same thing. Now when he does get down to where the clutch is, what he'll be doing is that he will be pulling out those sea turtle eggs. Now those sea turtle eggs, well, those are eggshells that are going to be left behind. It's not like the eggshell of a chicken egg. Instead of being hard and brittle, it's soft and leathery. So it'll stay intact. Or a full one.
There's a full one.
So this is an egg that did not develop. This is how large they are. So they are about the size of a ping pong ball. Now the reason why I am able to hold it and Jerry's able to dig down to do the inventory is that we are permitted by FWC to work with sea turtles, but this is nothing that is encouraged at all for a regular bystander. Now, as I was saying, the sea turtle eggs, they are not rough and brittle. They are leathery, a little soft, so they even have a bit of bounce to it, so you can see my finger can bend down into it. And that's something that's pretty important for when a sea turtle is laying her eggs. So that softness allows, which also allows for a bit of that bounce, allows for those eggs to be safe when they do drop. Now the drop is not going to be very large, but again, that hole that the sea turtle is making is about the length from where my hand is to pretty close to where my shoulder is. So even though it's not a huge drop, it's still a little bit of a distance that the eggs will be falling from. So this texture and composition of the eggs allow them to just gently fall on top of each other without them breaking.
And there's a couple of hatched ones.
So that there was one that did not hatch. That was one that didn't properly incubate. But this over here is one that did properly incubate. So once a hatchling does come on out, they will leave the, this is basically the only thing that's left behind. The hatchlings are ready out into the ocean. And the way that the hatchlings come on out is by using a tiny little thing at the tip of their beak. They pop out a little hole, and then they bring their body all the way out.